An example and a new commandment. A reading of the Gospel of John, chapter 13, verses 1 to 17 and verses 34 to 35, from the English Standard Version Anglicised. Jesus washes the disciples' feet and leaves us an example. The Gospel of John, chapter 13, verses 1 to 17. Now before the feast of the Passover, when Jesus knew that his hour had come to depart out of this world to the Father, having loved his own who were in the world, he loved them to the end. During supper, when the devil had already put it into the heart of Judas Iscariot, Simon's son, to betray him, Jesus, knowing that the Father had given all things into his hands, and that he had come from God and was going back to God, rose from supper. He laid aside his outer garments, and taking a towel, tied it round his waist. Then he poured water into a basin, and began to wash the disciples' feet, and to wipe them with a towel that was wrapped round him. He came to Simon Peter, who said to him, "Lord, do you wash my feet?" Jesus answered him, "What I am doing you do not understand now, but afterwards you will understand." Peter said to him, "You shall never wash my feet." Jesus answered him, "If I do not wash you, you have no share with me." Simon Peter said to him, "Lord, not my feet only, but also my hands and my head." Jesus said to him, "The one who is bathed does not need to wash, except for his feet, but is completely clean. And you are clean, but not every one of you." For he knew who was to betray him. That was why he said, "Not all of you are clean." When he had washed their feet, and put on his outer garments, and resumed his place, he said to them, "Do you understand what I have done to you? You call me teacher and Lord, and you are right, for so I am. If I then, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you also ought to wash one another's feet. For I have given you an example, that you also should do just as I have done to you. Truly, truly, I say to you, a servant is not greater than his master, nor is a messenger greater than the one who sent him. If you know these things, blessed are you if you do them." A new commandment. The Gospel of John, chapter 13, verses 34 to 35. This new commandment of Jesus, a new commandment I give to you, that you love one another, is found in the Old Testament scriptures. Leviticus 19, verse 18, "You shall not take vengeance or bear a grudge against the sons of your own people, but you shall love your neighbour as yourself. I am the Lord." Leviticus 19, verse 34, "You shall treat the stranger who sojourns with you as the native among you, and you shall love him, the stranger, as yourself. For you were strangers in the land of Egypt. I am the Lord your God." And Deuteronomy chapter 10, verse 19, "Love the sojourner, therefore, for you were sojourners in the land of Egypt." But Jesus adds something new. John 13, verse 34, "Just as I have loved you. A new commandment I give you, that you love one another, just as I have loved you. You also are to love one another. By this all people will know that you are my disciples, if you have love for one another." Thus Jesus left an example and gave a new commandment to all who are called to follow him. In summary, the Gospel of John, chapter 13, verse 17. If you know these things, blessed are you if you do them.